Good evening, I am Gary. Welcome to UW Library, a place with treasure of knowledge. Reading lectures is such a wonderful thing. However, I feel confused about a theory which is 10% of the brain means that most of all humans only use 10%, or maybe some others use a small percentage of their brains. It has been distributed to many people, including Albert Einstein. By extrapolation, it is just that a person may harness this uses potential and increase intelligence. So today, I will hold a debate for discussing and analyze whether this myth is true or false. The commander we invited are Dr. Pickle and Professor Tom.
Hi everyone, I'm Pico. The human brain is complex, along with performing millions of mundane actors. It composes concertos, issues many factors, and comes up with elegant solutions to equations. It is the wellspring of all human feelings, behaviors, experiences, as well as the repositories of memories and self-awareness. So, it is no surprise that the brain remains a mystery unto itself. I think this statement is true because, as we all know, Einstein is excellent in scientific intelligence, so he must use more parts of his brain than that of other normal people.
Alright, Gary. After listening Pico's report, I still feel pleased with his argument. The past 100 years has seen the evidence of the increasingly sophisticated technology for listening in on the functional traffic of the brain. The goal of behavioral neuroscience has been to record the electrical, chemical, and magnetic changes in brain activity and to correlate them with specific mental and behavioral phenomena. So now I can prove that the myth is false with 7 powerful reasons. The first one is studies of brain damage. If 10% of the brain is normally used, then the damage to the other area should not impair the performance. Instead, there is almost no area of brain that can be damaged without loss of abilities. Even slight damage to small areas of brain can have the profound effects. And the second reason is that brain scans can show that no matter what one is doing, all brain areas are always active. Some areas are more active at any one time than others, but bearing brain damage, there is no part of brain that is absolutely not functioning. The third reason is that the brain is enormously costly to the rest of the body. In terms of oxygen and nutrient consumption, it can require up to 20% of the body's energy, more than any other organs, despite making up only 2% of human body by weight. If 90% of it were unnecessary, there would be a large survival advantage to humans with smaller, more effective brains. If this were true, the process of natural selection would have eliminated the ineffective brains. It is also highly unlikely that a brain with so much redundant matter would have evolved in the first place, given the historical risk of the deaths in childbirth associated with the large brain size of humans. There would be a strong selection pressures against such a large brain size if only 10% was actually in use. The first reason I think is brain imaging. Technologies such as position emissions tomographies, and functional magnetic resonance images allow the activity of the living brains to be monitored. They reveal that even during sleep, all parts of brain show some level of activity. Only in the case of serial damage does a brain have a silent areas. The fifth reason I think is the localization of function. Rather than acting as a single mass, the brain has distinct regions of different kinds of information processing. Decades of research have gone into mapping functions onto area of the brain, and no functionless area have been found. The sixth reason I think is the microstructure analysis. In the slight unit recording technique, researchers insert a tiny electrode into the brain to monitor the activity of the single cell. If 90% of the cell were unused, then this technique would have revealed that. The last reason I think is that the brain cells that are not used have a tendency to degenerate. Hence, if 90% of the brain was inactive, autopsies of normal audience brains would reveal large-scale degeneration.
Thank you very much for discussing Tom and Pickle. According to this debate, I know that 10% of the brain misses is false, so I believe that everyone has same ability of their brain.